want to get all of your views, just really briefly, on where you sort of see the next trend coming 25 years or less. Yeah.
I'm going to pick something a little obscure, but I think Islamic Megabank, probably the focus is more on small and medium-sized enterprise activities of different types. Greater capitalization to try and draw. We have a lot of banks with relatively small capitalization at the present time. I think the average capitalization in the Islamic finance industry is about 200 million, which is really quite small. So I think people start to focus on that activity. You need to compete with big conventional institutions at some point.
I think one of the things that still has plenty of scope to take off is the funds industry. Structuring Islamic funds is actually one of the easier things to do in Islamic finance. For more or less retail investors, it has the advantage of mitigating the risk associated with exposure to a single equity. The funds industry in this region has not really been big. I think there's considerable scope for it to grow.
I think, Mr. Casey, I think that the funds industry is really underserviced in the GCC. But it's also, there's a bit of a danger to that industry that has started, because there's a lot of people who've jumped into all of the Islamic banks are doing everything, from the debt side to organizing funds, and there's a lot of inexperience.
I think what we will certainly see is development of Islamic finance in non-traditional jurisdictions, particularly in Europe. I think we're seeing a number of measures and approaches being taken by governments in places like the UK and France in particular. And I think what we'll see is more of a domestic retail market developing in jurisdictions like that.
I think continued tension between sort of various practitioners within the market in terms of achieving what seems almost impossible marrying objectives at the moment, and also but there is a demand there, so a continuing development of the product. I mean, we've just seen the first high yield sukuk that have been issued. So, again, I'm not necessarily predicting there's going to be a lot of them to follow, but it's, I think, a sign of the continuing development of the market, which, as we've recognised, has not been around for as long as the more conventional.
What I want to stress that Islamic banks, by nature, it is investment development banks. It is for project financing. It is not for retail. I mean, it's not, the future is not for retail. Because it is equity. It is equity. All financing is based on equity. Our future is restructure. This is our future of this industry. To have structure, as you said, self-mitigated transaction. I mean, to have the risk mitigated with the structure itself. More since we are investing in equity, what we need is to be very careful for risk management and risk arrangement for the industry to progress.